I will introduce first who Lumina and ENPRE para ma-familiarize for those viewers na hindi pa ganun ka-familiar kung sino or ano ang Lumina and what's their purpose. So Lumina, their background is really we promote the holistic development of human person covering all aspects of life. So all their activities and events are really gearing towards the social, economic, political, and cultural, and even personal and spiritual. We promote the dignity of the human person, equality between every person and the common good of all people in the community. Lumina's dream and aspiration for human persons is encapsulated in our logo. As you can see in the screen, yung logo ng Lumina, there is a leaf and a book. The leaf symbolizes the continual growth, while the book anchors the work on the creation of dissemination of new knowledge for integral human development. Ito po yung mga previous seminars and conferences ng Lumina. On the other hand, ang ENPRE naman po, or the Network of Professional Researchers and Educators, are here to support researchers and educators in their endeavor in disseminating knowledge in the ASEAN and worldwide audience. Also, ENPRE is to assist researchers and educators in responding to the many challenges that they are facing in teaching and of the youth today. That's why ENPRE is hosting the lightning talk for the coming weeks. Meron pong iba naman ang magto-talk just to respond to the challenges that we are facing right now. So here are some of the officers of ENPRE. And also, ENPRE is here to share the latest academic research and the best teaching practices in the ASEAN region. Last October, we had our CBOL, Young Scholars Research Congress in Boracay. At ito yung ilan sa mga student na nag-participate. Ayun po. So, hindi lang for professional researcher, but more so we are also gearing towards the student research endeavor. So, upon knowing who Lumina and ENPRE is, I hope for the coming conferences, makikita ko po kayo doon. So, siguro we could start in this talk. And to start, let me share bakit ba may lightning talk or para saan ba ito. Basically, I have three goals in this talk. First is to identify whether is there any fear or meron ba talagang phobia in research. And upon knowing kung meron bang fear or phobia in research, we also need to recognize where do this fear coming from? Saan ba nanggagaling? Or what are the sources of this fear? And lastly, I would recommend or suggest various ways on how to overcome these fears. Ayan. So I conducted a survey last week, and through the Google form, there are 182 who responded. So salamat po sa mga nag-respond. I asked them, do you have any fear in research? Or do you have any feeling of worry or being afraid of anything in relation? It's either writing, publishing, or presenting research. And out of 182, there are 120 or 65.9 who responded that they are afraid of research. May it be writing, presenting, or publishing. It doesn't surprise me kasi kahit ako, sometimes I also experience being afraid of presenting or getting nervous when I am presenting or publishing my paper. So with this, let's analyze bakit ba merong fear or where do this fear come from. According to Dale Carnegie, he said that fear doesn't exist. Fear doesn't exist anywhere except in mind. And medically speaking, it was proven that fear really is only in our mind. To be more specific, it is in the temporal lobe or the amygdala where the hearing, learning, and feeling come from. So medically acclaimed by Kapoor of 2018, it said that when the amygdala stimulates the hypothalamus, it initiates the fight or flight response. When we say fight or flight response, just imagine meron kang leon or tiger or snake sa harap mo. The initial response of our instinct or our human body is to pag nakakita ka ng leon, syempre, ang unang magiging response mo, it's either tumakbo ka or lumayo ka palayo. Diba? So that's the flight response. Lalayo ka sa kinakatakutan mo, which is lion or the snake or tiger. And talking about the fight and flight response, fear has its positive and negative. Kasi kung hindi ka naman natakot, possible hindi ka magpa-flight or hindi ka aalis doon sa harap ng leon. It could save your life into possible death. However, we also have the fight response. When we say fight response, these are the feeling na kinakabahan ka or natatakot ka magkamali, natatakot ka sa heights or sa water. And there are some signals or yung tinatawag nating adrenal rush or the adrenal glands, it produces hormones so that ma-release natin yung mga hormones through the physical changes. Minsan, bumibilis yung tibok ng puso natin, or yung breathing, hindi tayo makahinga, yung blood sugar, yung pinagpapawisan, or sometimes, I normally experience pag ako'y natatakot or kinakabahan in relation to research, yung boses ko parang nanginginig or nanginginig yung tuhod. So these are just a normal signals when we are experiencing fear. So bakit ko ba to sinasabi? This is for us to understand that fear is normal. Fear is only in our mind and we can control it. And also, in the movie After Earth, I don't know if you watch this, but allow me to present to you this short video clip to emphasize of what Will Smith believed about fear. So, pakinggan po natin ito. Ayun, so that is a movie clip from After Earth. And it is very important for us to understand that fear is normal. So, wag kang matakot na natatakot ka kasi it's normal. And since it's normal, we need to understand that fear is only in our mind. Sabi nga ni Will Smith, fear is not real. It is only the product of our thoughts, that you created. So minsan natatakot tayo kasi iniisip natin na baka mawala ako, or baka magkamali ako, or worse, baka ganito ang mangyari, or so whatever. And do not misunderstand, because danger is very real, and what's most important is fear is a choice. It's in our hand and it's in our mind. If we would have that fight or flight response to whatever, kung ano man yung kinakatakutan natin. And with that, alamin natin kung ano-ano ba yung mga sources or common sources of fear. So, let's play a game. Yan. Paano kaya tayo maglalaro? Let's play Family Feud. So, you just use the comment section. Just answer, what do you think? What are the common sources of fear? So, you just type into your comment section. Sa tingin nyo, what are the common sources of fear? And maybe yung mga first persons to answer correct may have a prize. Yan. Si Doc Fides na at ang bahala sa price nila. Siguro, percentage discount sa ating mga future conferences. So what do you think are the common sources of fear? So you may just use the comment section below. Yan, sabi ni Janina Krisha Borbon Pulhin, not good in writing. Pero magaling kang magsulat eh. Essay, always first place sa essay. So, possible, pwede, not good in writing. How about the others? Ano sa tingin nyo? Fear of speaking. Pwede? O yung iba, sagot naman kayo. Ano sa tingin nyo yung sources, or bakit ba, or ano ang kinakatakutan ng isang researcher? Not prepared or ready? Fear of presenting? Lalo na kapag kilala mo yung panelist. Fear of judgment or yung math. May math ba sa research? Pwede sa part ng statistics, or if it's your line of specialization, statistics, grammatical error. Possible. Okay, so to reveal, or meron pa ba sasagot? Lack of knowledge. Actually, meron na sa inyong mga tumama. Pero to continue our discussion, yan, fear of your topic, rejection, yes. Ang galing talaga ni Doc Menyes. Ayan, so to reveal, i-reveal ko na, the top 7 out of the 182 respondents dun sa sumagot ng survey ko last week, ito yung common sources. So out of 182 na sumagot, lack of money. Laging concern ng budget ng researcher, no? Okay, the top 7 is don't know how to do it. So yon, may tumama kanina. And also, the fear or the perception that research is hard and complicated. So this is most of nang nagsagot nito mga students. They said that natatakot sila sa concept ng research kasi ang perception nila mahirap na, komplikado pa. And hindi nila alam kung ano ang gagawin nila. So ito yung mga kadalasan na kinakatakutan nila. The fifth reason is criticism. So ito yung part wherein the researcher are being corrected, maybe of their advisors or their panelists. Another answer, top 4, making mistakes. So, natatakot magkamali. Siguro ito ay sa part ng presentation or baka may mali na maisagot sa panelists when they are defending their topic. So, we are down to last 3. Ano sa tingin nyo yung last 3? The top 3 answer is rejection. Especially kapag nasa proposal part ka, wherein you are defending on your title, maybe. So, possible they could experience rejection, or you are submitting your paper into a conference or into a journal for publication and then ma-reject. So, ito yung madalas na kinakatakutan ng researcher. Top 2 answer is public speaking. So, siguro, halos lahat naman tayo na experience natin, we experience being afraid of facing a lot of people or the feeling na hindi mo alam kung ano ang sasabihin mo, and just the thought na haharap ka sa maraming tao. So, yun yung madalas na kinakatakutan. And imagine, what is the top answer? What are the common source of fear in research? The top 1 out of 182, almost 50 plus ang nag-answer nito. And the common source of fear in research is panelists. Especially when we are defending our dissertation or our thesis. And maybe most of you, kahit ako, ay yung moment na pagharap ko sa panelists ay fresh at masaya na balikan kasi there is a good and of course there are some bad experiences when we're facing our panelists. So these are just the 7 common sources of fear. Ito yung sagot ng mga 182 na nag-answer. And it's very important to remember or to understand that there is really no fear in research. But there are phobia or fear in doing the process of research. Just like, for example, public speaking. Public speaking or the glossophobia, that is the speech of anxiety in speaking. The fear of anthrophobia. The anthrophobia, this is the extreme rational or unwanted fear of people or the society. We also have the ensociophobia, wherein this is the fear of the irrational and the unnatural feeling of criticism. Ibig sabihin, there are some phobia that we are experiencing during the research process. So meaning, there is really no phobia in research, but during the process, there we might experience this phobia. And medically speaking, medically acclaimed, there is no cure or medication to heal or para mawala ang phobia. The only thing para mawala or ma-cure ang phobia is to expose yourself to what you are afraid of. Let's say, for example, if you're afraid of water or the open sea, there's nothing you can do but to swim in an open sea para mawala yung phobia. Just the same with the research. If you are afraid of research, para mawala ang fear, you need to expose yourself in research. At least step by step or little by little, you're exposing yourself into research. That is why, let me share to you now some practical ways on how to overcome this fear. Are you ready? First, it's very important to face our fear. And for us to face our fear, I suggest or I recommend these 4 ways. These 4 ways are, first, find helpful tools, ask guidance of the mentor, conquer rejections or corrections, and expose yourself in good research environment. Don't get me wrong, because this is just my own personal experience during my research journey. And for us to overcome our fear, we need to face our fear. So let's tackle that one by one. First, for us to overcome our fear, we need to find helpful tools. What are these tools? First, technology. I remember nung kinikwento sa akin ng aking nanay, na aking mother, na sinasabi niya na nung unang panahon, nung time nila, meron lang silang pen and notebook. Pumupunta sila ng library and they are writing by their own hand their research papers. And we are very fortunate now with the vast experience or vast technological advancement that there are websites, there are some tools that could help us in research. Yan. With this code or abbreviation WISH, first is websites. So hindi ko na siya iisa-isahin kasi kung iisa-isahin ko pa siya, masyadong mahaba na yung discussion. But if you could just type into your browser research websites, maraming lalabas. Just like ang ginagamit ko, it's Google Scholar, Academia, Mendeley, Scopus, and other helpful websites. Or if you are nahihirapan ka in terms of citation, there is a website na you just type the title of the book, the author, and the other details. And when you click APA, automatic, meron ka ng APA format ng citation. It's citationmachine.net. And a lot of websites. Another helpful tool is internet connection, and together with a handy device. Ito yung lagi kong hinahanap kapag, let's say, for example, gagawa ako ng research. Una kong iniisip saan may malakas na internet connection. And, of course, social media. Bakit napasok ang social media? Because sometimes, as a researcher, we need to understand that research, the purpose of that is to fill in the gap. And for us to fill in the gap, we need to know what is the current issue now, what is the problem of the society, ano ba yung need ng community, wherein doon papasok ang social media, kung ano yung trending or what is the need during that time. So this is one of the helpful tools that we could use. Second, bukod sa technology, the most important tool is the time. Let's not underestimate time, because sometimes even na nandiyan na yung website, may malakas kang internet and you have the MacBook pa man yan or kung anumang device ang meron ka, if you don't make time to do your research, hindi ka talaga matatapos sa research. And during my experience nung sa dissertation writing ko, I make my Saturdays, every Saturday, sacred by making that my dissertation day. And it is nag-work naman siya kasi natapos ko yung dissertation ko on time and even ahead of time. So I highly suggest to make time, kung hindi man araw, at least may specific time ka na isiset. It depends on your body clock. If you're a morning person or an evening person, kung saan gising ang iyong mind. And lastly, the helpful tool that we could find is, of course, teacher. Sometimes, yung mga websites or yung technology, it may fail. Or the internet connection, lalo ngayon, we experience, there are some internet connection na limited and slow connection. But if we could just find a helpful and a good teacher for you to ask 24/7, so maganda yun na katulong mo in doing your research. And talking about teacher, allow me to jump into the next practical way, which is as guidance of a mentor. This is very important because you see, we are human being and we cannot do anything but to ask help for others. But the question is, what is the difference between a teacher, an advisor, a coach, and a mentor? So I attended around the table discussion sponsored by Parth through Inductivo. Doon ko na realize at nalaman yung pagkakaiba-iba nitong apat na ito. So allow me to share of what Doc Inductivo said into his presentation. According to him, teacher, basically he is the one or she is the one who teach, who show and explain on how to do something or how to do research. So earlier, one of the reason kung bakit natatakot ang mga researcher is hindi alam paano gawin. So we have a solution for that. We have the teacher because they are the one who is to teach and to explain how to do the research process. While a coach, they are the one who train and instruct a person. So I have experienced being a research coach last October nung join yung mga students from LPU in the CBOL Young Scholars Research Contest. So I was coaching them on how to present a paper, not the typical presentation in front of the panelists, but present a paper in an LPU trademark. Yon. And we have the advisor. They are the one who offers suggestion and about the course of action to do something or to someone. They are in LPU, they are assigned by the dean for the research advisor, and I would like you to meet my research advisor during my dissertation writing. So this is, I would like to honor my research advisors starting from left to right, Doc Bing, Doc Alex, Doc Menyes, and Doc Jake. They were the one who offered suggestion or who advised me or go along with me through my dissertation journey. And without them, I would not finish my paper with that quality. So, shout out po sa inyo. And lastly, mentor. A mentor is the one who advise and train someone, especially a younger colleague. Anong pinagkaiba ng mentor sa advisor or a coach or a teacher? A mentor, this is someone who is mentoring you or helping you in a long run. They are the one who is parang in training ka ng iyong mentor. And allow me to present who my mentor is. My mentor is Chenan. They are my life mentor. Yon. They are the one who yon. Basta, they are the one who helped me in reaching my achievements. They are the one who first believed in me and who trusted me. And so I would like to honor my parents because they were the one who never left me. Especially nung naalala ko, nagde-data gathering ako sa Tagaytay. Sila yung kasama ko and ayun. So, I encourage you to look for a life mentor who would really believe in you. Especially during the time na hindi mo na pinaniniwalaan yung sarili mo. So emotional. Ayun. So, moving forward, ayun, I honor my parents through this simple honoring. So moving forward, we have this synoptic matrix for us to understand or to fully see the full picture of the difference of a teacher, a coach, an advisor, and a mentor. So a teacher, so sila yung teaching them for short term. Coach, ayun, a coach is for short term to medium term and basically for giving feedback. For an advisor, short term to medium, and their role is to provide formal and specific advice. But a mentor, their focus is on discovering their own wisdom, and their role is to build capability, personal and informal. And I hope you could also recognize or honor your own life mentor. So let me jump into the next practical ways on how to overcome fear. And this is to conquer rejection and correction. And for us to understand that to overcome the fear in research, we need to understand that we are human being and we are not perfect. No one is perfect, but we can learn from these mistakes. And allow me to share some of my experience in doing my research. Ayun, nakwento ko kanina about my life mentor. They were the one who were there during my data gathering process. And my dissertation is about CSR of hotel employees among Calabarzon region. And with that 2 months, I go sa hotel and resorts, tourist inn, and different establishment trying to do the date to para pasagutan yung questionnaire. And I've experienced a lot of rejections. Dumating yung time na pinagbabaksakan ako ng telepono or hindi ako hinaharap ng hotel or pinag-iintay ako sa harap ng pinto ng hotel under the heat. And with that waiting and experience, I realized that this would not let me stop in my dissertation because there were, ayan, kasama ko ang life mentor ko. So, nakakakain naman kami sa labas, maganda yung experience. And I realized something because if by that time I decided to stop and not to continue my dissertation, I would not finish it. So, thank God they were very encouraging and motivating me para matapos siya. And voila, I experienced defending my paper in the last year, and I was able to finish my dissertation and my doctoral degree last year. So imagine if with that rejection, nagpa-apekto ako. So siguro hindi ko matatapos yung PhD ko. So it's also very important for us to understand that there are some things that we are good at, and there are some things that we are not good at. And let's focus on overcoming our weaknesses by focusing on what's our strength. And also, I've experienced last year, nagpasa ako ng paper in a conference for Research Presentation International. However, according to the organizers, my paper was rejected with no, parang it's out of the context. And then, ayun, medyo na-hurt kasi it's my first time to submit in an international presentation. But it doesn't stop me because I believe sometimes rejection would lead you to something better. And it is better. With that rejection, I come up. For isang araw, bigla ko na lang naisip, ni-reject niyo ang paper ko sa international conference, then gagawa ko na sarili kong conference. And voila, thank you to Lumina and Empre, nagkaroon ngayon ng LAYAG, Tourism and Hospital Research Conference. So this is a product, LAYAG conference is a product of rejection of me para mag-present international. And indeed, it was successful, even though we are few during that conference, but I see it as a successful and a good conference. And see you in the next LAYAG in September 2020. Hopefully, okay na yung situation. And also, I've experienced a lot of corrections and rejection while I am preparing my paper to submit in a Scopus index. And for those researcher who are trying to submit in a Scopus, I know you would understand me na mahirap makapag-publish in a Scopus journal. Mas maliit pa sa butas ng karayom to the point na bumalik yung paper ko 5 times just to correct and to revise my paper. And thank you for that experience because with that, I've learned a lot para next time, hindi ko na magawa yung same mistakes. And we cannot avoid the corrections or revisions from our research paper because sabi ko nga kanina, we are not perfect. But we need to still try and keep going until magkaroon na ng acceptance letter. Ito ang pinakamagandang letter na na-receive ko this year. After the 5 revisions that I've made, after the long night of revising and re-editing my paper, there na-receive ko through the email that my paper is now accepted in a Scopus index. And ayun, so this is just some of my experience in terms of rejection and correction. But to tell you honestly, marami pa na rejection and correction. But do not be, wag kayong panghinaan ng loob if you are rejected or worse, dumating yung iyong paper na puro tupi from your advisor. I also experienced that to the point na folder na lang ang hindi nakatupi kasi lahat ay nakatupi yung paper. Di ba? Sometimes the advisor, to see the comment, minsan tinutupi nila yung paper. So you see, you just do what your advisor do or yung comments nila. Because time will come na kayo naman ang magiging advisor. Ayun. And for the last practical way is expose yourself in a good research environment. So, exposing yourself in a good environment, para lang yan nagtatanim ng flower or ng plant. For you to see a flower or a fruit blooming in a plant, you need to cultivate it. Kailangan mong diligan, kailangan mo na ilagay siya sa magandang soil, and of course, most importantly, yung sunlight, yung natural light na kailangan niya para mag-grow. To the point, yung iba kinakausap pa siya na parang tunay na tao. It is same way as a researcher. For us to be cultivated, first we need to sometimes be watered from time to time. Hindi naman yung super water na overflow or na lulunod ka na sa dami. But sometimes, it is also good to expose yourself into research workshop, research seminar, and training. So here are some of the research seminar or training that I am going through for the coming weeks. Since nasa enhanced community quarantine naman tayo, let's maximize our time and let's not stop ourselves from learning. So you may also inquire, and there are a lot of webinars in the internet that you could join. Most especially if it's free. So makikinig ka na lang din naman. So feed yourself with this nourishment from the research workshops, seminars, and trainings. Also, to cultivate a researcher, you should be placed in a good soil. So this is a picture, a group picture of last year's Sulo Educators Congress. This is a funny experience of mine. Supposedly, sasamahan ko lang yung research group ko, sina Pamela. They are to present their research paper and I was their advisor. Pagpasok ko dun sa hall, iba yung environment, iba yung vibes because people are just chatting. Ito yung first time ko na maka-attend ng conference na hindi ganun kadami pero makikita mo yung quality, good friendship, good people at hindi mo mafe-feel yung pressure presenting because si Sir Clarence, the president or founder of Lumina Foundation, he always remind the presenters and the audience that we are here to present and not to defend. And that's a good memory of me of Empre and Lumina. That's why, nung may inabot sa akin na paper or form si Doc Fides, I immediately signed it up kasi akala ko membership form. And then, suddenly, it surprised me, pinatawag yung mga nag-submit ng form, knowing na yun pala ay candidacy form. So yun, I was elected as the Luzon coordinator for private sector. And even though it's an accidentally na na-happen, I thank that opportunity because it was the start of my research journey. At the research journey start in that conference. And not only attending conference, in order for the researcher to be cultivated, you should be part of a good and healthy environment. And allow me to share, aside from ENPRE and Lumina, here are some of the organizations that I am affiliated with. If you are a student, you may join Samahan ng Scholar ng Bagong Salinlahi or the SIBOL. SIBOL kasi as a student, the future researcher is in that seed. If you are into tourism and hospitality, I encourage you to also join PARTH or Philippine Association of Researchers for Tourism and Hospitality. Or if you are into publications or into general education, I am also part of Educators and Researchers Association in the Asian region. That is in Pangasinan State University. So these are just some of the organization that would help you. And sabi nga sa kasabihan, kung gusto mo maging magaling na researcher, sumama ka sa magaling mag-research. And this research organization would definitely help you to cultivate the fire into your heart. And lastly, to cultivate a researcher, thank you for LPU community because they are the one who helped me, funded me, give me budget to join and participate into this research agendas. So I thank God because I am placed in a good soil with LPU Batangas, celebrating quality and excellence. And of course, to cultivate a researcher, you must expose to natural light. When I mean about natural light, for you to expose yourself, the initiative must be coming from you. So I challenge for those researchers na nakatapos na kanilang thesis and dissertation, try to revisit your paper kung na-publish mo na ba siya, na-present mo na ba siya, because research doesn't end in production. But the research production have another stage, which is the most important part of a research, which is the dissemination and utilization. That's why I encourage you to present your paper or publish in these reputable research journals. So these are just some of the journals that you would like to consider. Or for our future, ito yung SIBOL ng scholar, supposedly last March. But due to COVID-19, it would be rescheduled sometimes by the end of the year. But hopefully, once na na-settle or okay na yung situation, magpupush through na itong conference. This is for students. And solo educators is for faculty members. Aside from this, we also have LAYAG, Tourism and Hospitality Research Conference. We're eyeing Bohol, if ever na okay na yung situation. And we also have Luminary International Conference. So these are the conferences sponsored by Lumina and ENPRE that you want or you might consider for you to be exposed in the natural light of the sun. We will be keeping you posted once the schedule is finalized. And going back, so again, for us to overcome our fear, we need to face our fear. Let's remember FACE. Find helpful tools. And these tools are technology, finding time, and finding the right teacher that would help you. Ask guidance of a mentor, not just a teacher, but look for a mentor that who would believe in you even the times na hindi ka naniniwala sa sarili mo. Also, conquer your rejection and correction. So let's be reminded that we are not perfect, but through our mistakes, through this correction, we would grow as a person and learn many things in life. And lastly, expose yourself in good research environment. It's very important to cultivate your surroundings with surround yourself with good people, good organization that would encourage and help you course through your research journey. So with this, thank you very much for listening. And it doesn't end here. I have invited few of my research coach, research advisors with me so that they could also share their experience. After their sharing, we would be having an open forum, and this open forum hopefully would help us to answer your questions. Or if you have any questions, you may now type in the comment section. And after the sharing of these two research uh, panel of reactors, we will now entertain questions. So to start, allow me to introduce my research teacher and advisor and a coach, Doc Norma Menyes.
Ayan.
Ayan.
Nakikita na ba ako, Noe?
Yes,
Hindi ko pa
ma'am.
sarili ko.
Ayan.
Okay,
So, share na po si Ma'am Menyes.
Okay na ba?
Yes po, go.
Okay, so first, I would like to congratulate Noe for such kind of initiative that in the midst of community quarantine, you are here as a research frontliner in sharing your thoughts. So how can I say no if I'm just at home? Thank you din sa Lumina Foundation. This is, I think, my second time to be part of your research undertaking. Remember, I will always be available to assist any of our budding researchers. Pangako po ko po yan sa Lumina Foundation. At this point, may I share my thoughts also on Noe's topic on how to overcome research fears. Congrats, Noe. So I will just share some of my thoughts regarding your topic. Just like what you discussed, that when fear is normal and product of our thoughts, it comes from things we are not capable of doing. Right? Parang takot tayo because we do not know what to do. You will only be feared when you are not prepared in doing research. You cannot share what you do not know, and you cannot give what you do not have. So prepare yourself first. No? Tama yung sinabi ni Noe kanina, no? Natatakot tayo. And I think some of the thoughts of their students they are fear because they do not know what to do, they are not knowledgeable. So we have to equip ourselves first. No? Let us prepare ourselves as to identifying our problem. Prepare ourselves as to the identified problems of our interest. Do not work for research which is not your interest. Don't work on the topic you are not interested to do. It should be the topic you are interested, so that when you share this to everyone, when you share the results of the paper, you know what you're going to say. So that means you know what you're going to do, you know what you're going to share. And sabi ko kanina, you are not into fear dahil alam mo yung sasabihin mo. Alam mo kasi yung topic mo because you are into this kind of environment. And then, you will only be feared when you are not prepared in doing this, what I mentioned. So that means you can already do. So first is identify problem of your interest. Second, as sharing, because you identified your problem, you have to do a very good literature review. Just like what Janine Noe was saying a while ago, for gap of existing knowledge. Alam mo na what are the existing researches undertaken of the topic that you have done. And in doing so, I am sure that you read a lot, on that particular topic. But, sabi nga ni Noe, ang daming makikita mo in the net. When we equip ourselves with all these specifics, it should be coupled with reliable source of reputable journals. Huwag po tayong kung saan-saan lang kukuha ng mga topics. Kahit sabi ni Noe kanina, there are a lot of available journals in the net. But let's be specific. This should be reliable. Of journals, no? And then, if you have that, nothing to be feared. I think kung alam mo na what are the different topics na nandoon sa iyong research, marami ka nang nabasa at nabasa mo siya sa mga reputable journals, nothing to be feared about it. No? You can now share your research output. And then know about your mistakes, failures, and rejections. Hindi lang naman siya part ng research. It is also part of our life. Much more from a scientific way of investigation that is doing research. Kung sa buhay nga nagkakamali tayo, lalong mahirap gumawa ng research. Let me remind everyone that research needs a lot of courage. Sabi ni Noe kanina, you need an expert mentor and in a research journey. No? Therefore, we will really encounter difficulties and weaknesses sa mga ginawa natin. Kanina I saw some of the comments, wala daw natin sa mga papel nila. It's okay. No? These are products of experts. These are products of comments from panelists. Maganda nga yun, no? Let's just accept that we need failures, need to be positive. Be positive in being a researcher na kailangan kong tanggapin, marami talaga pa akong dapat na gawin. Marami pa akong comments. Nasa you go along, your panelists, your advisors, your mentors, as part of your research journey. Of course, they are sharing their expertise to improve your work. The more the merrier, ika nga, no? Ano? Marami, mas maganda kasi nakikita mo ang daming mali ng papel mo, ang dami mong natutunan sa kanila. And we accept mistakes and failures and rejections. The more you are improving your paper, and the better it will become. Nakikita mo, ay, parang ang dami-dami na. Then you submit again to international papers for publications. Ang dami po uling corrections. Pasalamat po tayo. There are a lot of corrections. That means they are reading their paper. And lastly, according to Noe kanina, kailangan natin yung time. You know, when I'm teaching research, I told my students, research is a scientific process, but more so that research is time, attitude, and our determination to finish. Congratulations, Noe, and congratulations to Lumina Foundation.
Yan. Thank you, Doc Menyes, for sharing. Indeed, kayo po talaga dapat mag-share nito kasi kayo yung nagturo sa akin ng research during my masteral time. Ayun. So, standby po muna tayo, Ma'am Menyes, for questions later.
Jake ba ay naka-online?
Yes po. Next to share po is my research buddy, my sister in crime, research in crime. Let us now welcome Dr. Jane Borbon Pulhin.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Congratulations, May. I'm so proud of you for facing your fear of public speaking by conducting this talk. Very informative yung mga sinabi ni May kanina, ni Doc May. And let me just add something or just to contribute doon sa topic ni May. Kasi my role is also, aside from being a researcher myself, I was also given the task of being advisor, panelist to my students, and a researcher as a faculty. So let me just siguro give emphasis on the role of the advisor. I saw in the chat box na yung mga nanonood sa atin ngayon, karamihan sa kanila ay also researchers and advisors. And let me just encourage them to also help our students to remove yung fear by being an efficient and a good advisor. What I do in my advisee, first day of research, hindi ko muna sila yung first day ng research subject namin, hindi ko muna sila hinihinga ng research title. No? What I do is I give an orientation because fear, as May said, is in the mind. And we have to set the mindset of the students in a way that they will do this not just out of compliance, but they really know the why. Why are they doing research? Kasi if they know the why, the how of doing it, kahit mahirap pa yan or may kinakatakutan sila, if they have a strong why of doing it, they will conquer their fears and they will do it. So in the first meeting, what I do, I conduct an orientation and I give them the purpose and the benefit of the research that they're going to do. I cite examples of improvements that are done in the past as product of research. And whenever they hear those benefits and the purpose, mas nagkakaroon sila ng gana and ng courage to do research. It's also our role to give them access to source of knowledge as advisors. Kanina, isang na banggit na source of fear is they do not know how to do it or they have lack of knowledge. And that knowledge, the source of knowledge, should come from us. As experienced researchers, we should give them access saan nila makukuha yung mga information or knowledge na kakailangan nila to do research. What is also helpful for my advisees that I give them timeline. I saw kanina yung comment na isang source of fear is yung fear na hindi nila matapos yung research nila. It is true, especially for us na in the past years, we're only given 1 semester to finish a research. For a faculty, it's difficult, more so for students, di ba? So it's helpful for us. What I do is I give them timeline and deadlines. Kasi students, kung wala yan deadline, hindi nila yan tatapusin talaga. So when they're given timeline, they do not have the fear of baka hindi nila matapos. Kasi I give them realistic timeline. Aside from that, nagagawa nila yung research ng 1 bite at a time. Mahirap kasi yung ipapresent mo yung lahat ng gagawin nila. It can be overwhelming and can be a source of fear. So if you're giving them 1 bite at a time and they're able to accomplish those small tasks one at a time, they gain confidence. And with that confidence, mas babawasan yung fear nila of doing research. So timeline is very important. And lastly, as research advisor, syempre, kailangan available din tayo when the students are in need of our advice. I would like to commend my research advisor, Dr. Jake Laguador. Hanggang ngayon na gumagawa na ako ng personal research ko, isang message ko lang, may sagot na siya kagad. That being available helped me be confident also in doing research. So sana ganun din tayo dun sa mga advices natin. As a panelist naman, kanina, nabanggit number 1, yung fear of panelists. I don't know why they have that fear, pero siguro as panelists, for most of us here na watching that are given the role as panelists, it would be helpful or it would ease the fear of the students or the researcher if we have this approachable nature or if we make them feel comfortable. And at the beginning of their presentation, it would be good also to clarify our role, that our role is not to just to criticize them for the sake of criticism, but also to criticize them with the mindset that my role is to help you and to help improve your research. Kung sa simula pa lang, bago pa sila magsimula, nasabi mo na yon and you make them feel comfortable, I think yung fear of public speaking, fear of panelists, wala na din yung mga yon. And I also saw some who are watching that are teachers or part of the academe who I think would also, kahit naman faculty na tayo, we also have the fear of doing research. Kahit ako, in the beginning, there's also fear and hesitation of doing research. I think very important for us is to accept that it is part of our role as academician. Now, our role is not only as teachers, but one of our function is also as researchers. So if you chose being a teacher or being in the academy, we have to accept that it is part of our role. And with that acceptance, we also have to take it on. And sabi nga ni May, if you're fear of the sea, you have to dive in it. Ganon din sa research. So you want to dive in it also. Kasi we cannot expect our students to do research if we ourselves were not doing research. Tama ba? We cannot give what we don't have, and we cannot encourage them to do what we are not doing. And lastly, siguro, I could just say that research is a way of life. And sa simula, hindi siya ganun kadali. But as you go through it, as you experience it, it becomes part of your life. And as it becomes a way of life, it becomes, in a way, easier, and the fear, mawawala na siya. So those are just some of my thoughts and additional information doon sa topic ni May. So May, with that, congratulations and good luck sa mga nanonood ngayon as you do your own research.